Adli Edwards is my next guest as he gets ready to face Lance Lawrence on November the 6th for the vacant featherweight title for the HRMMA promotion. Adli, how are you?
Doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I appreciate the time and having you on the show. A lot to get to. I'm excited for this fight here with Lance. But first, I want to backtrack and talk about some previous fights. Your most recent one, you got another big win. This one over Jake Willyard, first round victory via strikes. Can't get much better than that. How happy are you with the win?
It's good. Got in there, got it done. No damage done. Up a weight class, so no stress on the body, easy work, and rolling right into the next one. So pretty happy about that. Keep things rolling, get some momentum. Well, hard time finding fights sometimes, so it's nice that we get this back to back here. I'm really excited about it.
For sure. Now you're talking about this one was up a weight class. What do you envision your future here moving forward? I know you fought at featherweight, not lightweight. Where do you feel like your best fit will be once you take that next step, which I know hopefully you want that to be very soon?
Very soon, I hope. Featherweight's my natural weight class. I can make featherweight on a dime. Tell me I got to make weight in 2-3 days. I can make it, no problem. Almost no matter where I'm sitting, it's within striking reach. 55 is just don't have to do a weight cut and get it. So if that's more convenient sometimes for my opponents, we can make it happen. That's it's always an option.
What do you typically walk around at?
High 50s. If I'm really out of camp, not doing much, maybe like a low 60s, but it's not a bad cut at all.
All right, yeah, no, that's not bad at all. I know a lot of people cut a lot more weight to get down to whatever their weight class is, so that's got to be pretty easy for you.
Yeah, man, I try to stay as disciplined as I can with my diet. You never know where you get the call or the opportunity, so I just want to always have my options open. I think it's easier when for me at least, when you go all in. I just stay strict to my diet all the time. That way it's not even like I have to diet. It's just my lifestyle.
Sure. Now, a fight that I think you really got on a lot of people's radar. You had a signature win over Brendan Marat, who was previously undefeated. I mean, you went the distance with him, unanimous decision victory. How important was that for you to face a guy, that was undefeated, that's clearly as good as he is, and to get a win like that?
Yeah, that was a fantastic fight. And people don't know this actually. I just had that corrective eye surgery right before that fight, and I hadn't been training at all. I was like coming off the couch, hadn't been doing anything for a couple of weeks, and before that, I got stitches in my brow. And funny enough, it was playing with my daughter. We were just watching a Spider-Man movie, and we were play fighting, and did one of those little spinning Mortal Kombat style sweep kicks. Didn't know the TV stand was behind me, split open my brow. So I was off for a long period of time, and they hit me up about that fight, and I want to say they gave me 16 days notice for that. So we just came right in there, and which was nice, honestly. Not a whole lot of time to stress. We just did what we do, and that was a fun fight. He was a tough kid. He was scrappy. He kept coming. You could definitely. There's something about fighting somebody who's undefeated. They haven't lost yet. They think they're invincible, and he's coming at me like he wants to keep that O. So it was a really fun fight, and he threw the kitchen sink at me. But we got that win. I felt good. I felt dominant. Felt great on my feet. Felt great on the mat. Felt great everywhere in between. It was a good fight.
Did you ever feel a point in that fight where you could maybe feel him break a little bit, or was he just right there pushing you right until that final bell?
He was tough the whole time. I definitely know I battered him a little bit and slowed him down, but he was coming at me, and again, he had a fight scheduled already. I was the late replacement, so he had that gas tank. I was hoping I would get a finish earlier, but he made us fight for 15, and that's a quarter of his own toughness, so good for him.
Now, there's so many controversial judging decisions nowadays. So when a fight does go the distance like that, regardless of how well you've done, do you still feel a little kind of uneasy before the judges actually render their decision?
Yeah, sometimes I definitely am, especially when you're going to somebody else's hometown. I had one person in the crowd, and that was my sister, because she happened to have a business meeting there that weekend. So it was definitely hostile territory, and you never know how they're going to swing it, but I feel like I dominated every moment of every round. He really didn't have very many moments at all, and definitely not enough to do anything significant on the spot. That decision was definitely mine.
Now, Combat Zone is Calvin Kattar's promotion. Did you get a chance to talk to him? And, what did he say about, your performance, if you did talk to him, and your future?
Yeah. And we talked shop a little bit before the fights at the lane. Super nice guy, really cool dude. And yeah, I think he was happy I came in there, performed, and we put on a show. It was a fantastic, fun fight. It was exciting, and yeah, it was cool. I like fighting for fighters, and I wish him all the best. And I'm glad he's giving back to the community and doing his own show. So I think that's really cool.
No doubt about it. Now, after that fight, you were supposed to be on Contender Series. You were going to be facing Terrence McKinney, and for whatever reason, that didn't happen. I don't know the reasoning why, so please enlighten me.
Yeah, they gave me the call. I want to say it was within a week after that fight. So they were quick to pick me up after that win. That must have impressed them. And we were going to headline, Terrence McKinney and I were going to headline one of the Contender Series fights. Fortunately, I got banged up in training, an old injury that just kept getting worse. And it's at the point where it was like, man, I got to make a hard call. It's either fight hurt, or really the hardest part was training hurt even, and making this worse and making it something I'm going to have to sit out a really substantial amount of time with, or, pull out of the fight and heal. And I'm glad I did. Well, maybe not. It's hard to say what would happen in that fight and how I'd be in the UFC right now. But I feel better than I ever have. That old nagging injury is not even dealt with, but it's in the past. I feel better and more powerful than ever. And that injuries sometimes they accumulate over a long career. I wrestled for a while, and it's been plaguing me forever. So it's good to have closure on that. I had a local doctor reach out to me, Dr. Graham Clements, and he fixed me up. He spent a lot of time, and I'm super grateful for it because, man, I'm a different kind of athlete now. That confidence I have being, able to train full go, not being like, let me baby this, baby that. And some other nagging injuries as well that weren't even the reason I pulled out. Everything's feeling better, man. I feel bulletproof right now.
How old are you now?
Just turned 30, maybe 31. So yeah, asked me too quick. One of those two.
So you're
still in August, so still got plenty of time left. Haven't taken like any damage. My brain's feeling good. I don't get punched a whole lot in my fights. Usually do the punching, so I think I got a long career ahead of me. Hopefully we can fill it up these next couple of years with a lot of fights.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you're still super young. Plenty of time left there. Now, McKinney, the Contender Series fight, he ended up taking on Sean Woodson. We know what happened there. Woodson got the win in the UFC. How would you have liked the matchup if you would have fought Woodson versus McKinney? Like, do you feel like you could have beaten either one of those guys at that point in your career?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Even right then, I think we knew that Terrence McKinney hadn't been fighting the toughest opposition, and he was a great wrestler, so he was just smashing through him. I'm also a great wrestler, but the rest of my game is rounded out, and I've been battle tested with tough guys. So even though Woodson kind of got roughed up that first round, he came back when McKinney was gassing. I feel like I would have done that even sooner, maybe, and then I wouldn't have been losing before I smashed him. That's how I at least envisioned my fight going. And Woodson, you can see his holes in his game versus a wrestler, and a guy who can take him down and put some work on him. And I think I could have done that even better than McKinney. So I would have loved either of those fights. And hey,
Yeah.
maybe in the future something like that happens. Hopefully in the UFC.
For sure. You might get your opportunity very soon. Now that Contender Series bout was supposed to be in the summer of 2019. Fast forward to now, you just finally fought in, early this month for the first time. Tell me, man, like, what has this pandemic in 2020 been like for you? I mean, I know you got through that injury and everything, but just tell me, I guess what training has been like, and if you're getting back to some sense of normality. I know a lot of us still really aren't at that point just yet.
Yeah, and if you count the time from that Brendan Marat fight we were talking about to this fight that I just had, that's 18 months. That's a long, long time. A lot has happened, to be honest. I'm one of those guys. I'm lucky. I kind of run my own camps. I feel like I know my body best, and I've got great coaches and great resources and people who mentor me and help me out. But I kind of organize my own training, and I kind of have a good idea of what I want. And I like that responsibility. That way it's not somebody else's. No one's fault if I lose except for me. So I was able to, rather than being like, hey, I can't show up at the gym, I guess, I can't do anything today. It gives me that it's empowering roll going despite what's happening in this, post-COVID world. So I lucked out. And honestly, I think it helped me a lot because, one, the aforementioned fix out my injuries. But two, I got to work a lot more with Marcus Davis, who's been a big part of my, my fight career and development for the last few years. But really, when COVID hit, I know he lives in the gym, and so do I. And when we can't train other people and we can't go to these gyms, North Carolina has been locked down pretty hard up until recently. So we had a lot more time to train and got to pick his brain. And dude, that dude has made me so much better. I fixed so many holes. I feel like I am not just a complete fighter, but I feel like I'm dangerous everywhere, and everything flows together really well. I'm so excited. This is probably the biggest jump of improvements I've ever made in a time span, except for when I first started training and everything was new. So I'm beyond excited to showcase these skills, and I'm itching to get in there and show all these improvements we've been working on.
Yeah, and as I told you before we went live, I know Marcus pretty well. I'm from the Bangor, Maine area, which is where he's from. I learned under him at Team Irish back in the day, not too long ago, before he made the move to North Carolina. And he's basically like the real life Jason Bourne. He's just a certified badass. I mean, he's not someone that you'd want to mess with, and it's awesome that you're getting a chance to work so closely with him. Where do you feel like he's made the biggest change in your game for the better? I mean, he comes from a boxing background. Like, where do you feel like he's really skill set?
Yeah, I think people you look at him and see him. He's a strong, opposing, scary dude, and they don't realize how cerebral the guy is. The guy's got a mind for the sport. He's very tactical, and I think we see eye to eye on a lot of our philosophies and way we train. And he's really helped me piece together. Especially there's kind of these deal breakers as you're going through, certain strategies or movements or as I'm performing that have been giving me a lot of hiccups. And he was able to spot some of these, and we've been able to patch it through. And man, I feel like everything. His grappling's underrated. Of course, he's a long-time professional boxer, but that dude can grapple, and he's got a unique style that really meshes well with the way I do it. I feel like he's helped me everywhere. People might, gravitate and see like, oh, obviously he's a boxer and he can strike and throw, and that definitely has improved big time for me and made me more dangerous there. But honestly, it's everything, and a lot of the things are subtle, and I think the effect they'll have on my performances are going to be dramatic. I think you're going to notice it big time.
Has he ever told you any of like the crazy stories when he was younger about like when he worked at the pet store in Bangor, and has he got into any of that with you? Because if he hasn't, you have to ask him.
Oh yeah, that dude's got stories on stories on stories. It's like I can't believe it's one person how many interesting stories come out of this dude. Definitely exciting life. That dude's done it all. He should make a movie out of that dude's life for sure.
No doubt about it. Now, he was actually going to fight fairly recently up here in New England, and that didn't happen. Is he still trying to get in and find a fight, or is that pretty much done and behind him now?
No, I think they had some issues with some of the stuff they were allowed to do with events. So I think he's waiting for that state to, I guess, change their stipulations on the events, and I think they're trying to run it back. Mm-hmm. I think I don't want to speak for him, but he always speaks to how much better he got after he was done competing. And I think it makes sense. You sit back and kind of see it from an outside perspective as a coach. I think he's really excited to see how this stuff works and battle test his own improvements. So I think that's where his heart is just getting better and developing.
Very cool. Well, I know all of New England would love to see him back competing, regardless of what discipline in combat sports it may be. I did notice that you've shown a lot of support for Dillon Blackshear, who actually fights tonight for Bellator. Did you work with him much in this camp? Do you guys typically train together?
All right. We train on and off quite a bit. He actually came down with me when I went to Vegas for Contender Series to help, being a training buddy. He's a good dude. He works hard. He's tough. Good local athlete. And you'll see a lot of these local guys over here. We kind of spread out and we cross-train a lot, and it's nice being able to pull all these guys in. He comes in, a lot of his other old teammates, and we've got a bunch of guys that make great training partners, great sparring partners, and we get quality work in. I'm really rooting for him. He's a tough kid. He's young. He's got I think, a big ceiling. So I'm excited to see what he does tonight.
Yeah, me as well. I'm looking forward to that fight. Him and Mike Kimball. That's a good matchup. I think Bellator really did a good job with that matchup in particular. I think two young guys who have bright futures. Who have been some of the other, I guess, main training partners that you typically get work in, from camp to camp?
It kind of varies, and I've been lucky to travel a little bit and go to some different camps. But locally, we have two good jiu-jitsu guys. Brandon Gardner, he had a stint on Ultimate Fighter. think he's like a 10-1 pro, and he's a great grappling partner. Same with Clayton Mello, a guy who moved up here from Brazil. Good grapplers. There's on the regional scene, we got a lot of pros. Anthony Wright, Isaiah, who just made his pro debut up in New England as well. I think for CFFC, there's a lot of good dudes. And the nice thing is we all cross-train together. We've got Dwan Owens is another good one. Just worked out with him today. We've got a good group of guys with a lot of different styles, and everybody from their gyms too. We pull in guys, so we've got a lot of good looks.
That's great to hear, and I'm sure it will translate in your fight come fight night. Now, I know you're a family man, and that means a lot to you. How difficult is it for you to juggle, your training responsibilities and everything you need to do, and then still, do the things you need to do at home?
It's tough, man. It's really tough. It definitely is a family affair. My wife's got to take up a lot of responsibility with the kids, especially when I'm, working all morning, training all morning, working, training. It's a full busy day. It's definitely tough, but I think my kids have grown to embrace the lifestyle as well. They're gym rats, and I'm hoping that we can get some of those UFC paychecks so I can work a little less and spend some more time with them. That's the dream for sure.
There you go. Well, let's talk about UFC for a second, because there's a pretty big card next weekend. Some guy named Khabib is fighting Justin Gaethje for the title. So, pick, man. Who do you think wins and why?
I like both those guys. I think they both have great styles. It's hard to say. I think Khabib in the past has struggled with guys who are great wrestlers and can maybe stay off the cage. I feel like Gaethje might meet him in the middle and give him some troubles. But we also haven't seen Gaethje fighting off his back. So I think it depends where that fight takes place, in my opinion. I think if Gaethje keeps in the middle and can keep him honest, it could be a tough night for Khabib. Mm. The unknown is how Gaethje deals with that wall pressure and ground and pound if it gets there. I'm excited. This is going to be answer a lot of questions about both of them. It'll be pretty cool.
For sure. Where are you watching the fights? You going to get together with some of your teammates or stay at home? What are you thinking? I'm
a homebody. I'm going to sit here, watch it with my kids, my wife. My little daughters love watching the fights sometimes too. They'll sit over there and root them on. So, hey, man, we're talking about COVID. I love this lifestyle. It gives me an excuse to stay at home and relax and not do anything. This is where we do our best. Just locked into the couch there, relaxing as a family.
Well, what have been some of like the main shows or movies that you guys have gotten into as a family? Because I know, every fighter that I interview or coach or whoever it may be, everyone has a suggestion because you've had plenty of time at home to watch Netflix, to watch movies or whatever, it is that you like. So give me a suggestion or two.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching that Avatar show with my oldest daughter, The Last Airbender, and I think they have like a new series too. She likes that. We watched some of that She-Ra. She was always a He-Man She-Ra fan, so they did a reboot of that. A lot of cartoons with the kids. Just watched that Haunting of Hill House, that sequel season. We binge watched that. That Haunting of Bly Manor, I believe. There's some good shows. To be honest, I'm not much of a TV watcher. We're more sit down, play board games sort of family, but if I had to pick some shows, those are the ones we've been watching for sure.
Gotcha. Well, I'm engaged now. I'm getting married next year. No kids just yet, but basically she told me that as soon as we get married, she wants to start having kids immediately. So all of that stuff is in my very near future. So I'm sure I'll have to catch up to where you're at right now and at least have a little bit more understanding of what, you need to do to be a good dad, because I have no clue and I'm a little scared.
Yeah. Here's my advice to you, man. Get the sleep you can right now.
That's what it says. Get it in. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's talk about this fight. Again, it's for the vacant title. Your opponent is 5-1. He looks to be, quite a handful. What do you feel like about his skill set, and stylistically, how do you think this matchup works out for you?
To be honest, yeah, he's good, and he had a long amateur career as well. He's a great jiu-jitsu guy, and you see that in his fights. He's got a lot of submission wins. He's a lanky, tall guy, and he's got experience, and he seems durable. I've seen him take some heavy shots, especially in that Contender Series fight. Keeps coming forward. He looks like a tough enough kid, but I think he's never fought an athlete like I am. He's never fought somebody with my sort of skill sets. I think I got him beat, honestly, across the board. I think I'm better than him at everything, and even the things he's best at, I'm better at. So I really think it's going to be a good showcase matchup for him. No disrespect to him. I think he's a tough kid, but stylistically, I think I'm too dangerous everywhere.
Do you feel a finish is going to happen in this fight?
I think so. I think it's gonna be tough. So I think it's gonna give me some time to work and showcase some skills first. But yeah, I think for sure there's gonna be a finish. I don't know how he's gonna give it to me, but I'm gonna take it when it's there.
Now, do you know, are they going to be allowing fans in the stands? How's that going to work out with the pandemic and, the social distancing and all that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Kentucky's rules are, but I know they are selling in-person tickets. If you guys are getting one, I think last I heard there's like 45 tickets left, so hustle for those. But they are doing a pay-per-view as well. Yeah, I don't know what their normal capacity is if they're limited, but they're actually doing a show. I think their first show back since COVID is tomorrow night. So
Okay.
they're maybe that's the one. I'll take a peek and I'll let you know for the next time we talk.
Sure, for sure. Now, I got to imagine something that if you do get this win, you probably would have a Contender Series shot next, right? I mean, you had one previously. Have they told you anything yet? I mean, this series for Contender Series is almost over, but I mean, the springtime they're going to start back up. Have they elaborated to you as to what they're thinking for you?
So here's where I'm at, man. When I pulled out, they told me, all right, stay active, stay ready. We'll get you up for next season. And when I was healthy last winter, I was looking for a fight. It was a joke how many opponents we went through, and I could not get any. And then spring hit, and I was like, all right, everybody going to Contender Series. I was told I was going to hear back the very week that COVID hit for getting matched up for Contender Series. And then Contender Series in the spring, as you know, was washed. And then this fall, as shows started coming up, in fact, the Contender Series was one of the first ever to get back on the MMA scene here and resume. They told me, hey, man, I don't think you've been active enough. And I was, in a tough spot. So I finally found a fight. And I was hoping to get a Contender Series. But, hey, man, here's my hope. This dude was on Contender Series, his last fight, the very same season I was, a couple weeks apart. So I think the UFC should look at this as a Contender Series tryout here and maybe take the winner here.
Yeah, straight shot.
I'm ready to get in the UFC, man. I'm tired of the regional competition. I want to showcase my skills versus the best in the world, and I think I am more ready than ever. And hopefully this will showcase it in, I think it's 4 weeks' time to the day, maybe 3 weeks' time to the day, excuse me. And we'll get it in.
Well, according to Marcus, the last time I spoke to him, he said you are 1,000% ready, and he said you will be in the UFC. It's just a matter of time. So I can't wait, Adli. I appreciate you taking the time to join me here today. Again, for everyone out there, if you do want to get tickets, as he said, there's only a few left, but November the 6th, HRMMA vacant featherweight title against Lance Lawrence, man. Before I let you go, again, I appreciate it, you joining me, but anyone you want to thank, any sponsors you have, any social media, floor is yours.
Yeah, I would love to thank my other coaches, Josh Brackett especially, been working out a lot with our Muay Thai together. And then my sponsors, I talked about Graham Clements, my doctor, also Vose, James Vose, Vose Natural Stone, Flirty Eats, Gene Kim Productions. You asked me too fast here, I'm drawing a blank. I just want Mike's got to give me a list. But hey, I really appreciate everybody for their support. And if you guys want to come watch me fight, check out the pay-per-view link on my Instagram. Give me a follow while you're there, maybe. And yeah, I'll see you guys with some big news hopefully following my next fight.